We made it. We made it to day 24. Happy Saturday. Today is August 17th, 2019. I made it. I am here. Welcome to day 24. If you're watching this right now, please let me know how your day has been. And also subscribe and like this video, this live stream, because I'm recognizing that we only have a few days left together, and I want to make sure that I get a chance to actually get to know you guys better. So today's intention is going to be fully embodying what we've all experienced together throughout this challenge. And yeah, so make sure you engage as much as you can because we only have a few days together. So looking forward to getting to know you guys. And today's topic is going to be acceptance. For age 24, I was talking about this with my one of my best friends, and we both recall our 24th year as a place in our life where we kind of went with the flow, we kind of accepted the pace as it is, and we just wanted to see how it goes, but we weren't exactly like it was like a different feeling than when you first going to college. It's like different than when you graduate college. It's we kind of accept the flow as it is, the pace as it is. And so today with that, I wanted to bring out the topic of acceptance, the awareness of acceptance we have within ourselves, and how we could identify that happening in our day-to-day and how I experience it currently. And yeah, so welcome to day 24. Here we go. Okay, I have the music playing like I usually do in the beginning of the stream. Again, the intention of this live stream challenge is for me to show up for the world and update. Today is day 24, and I feel so much like myself in that I feel comfortable in my own skin. Today, for the first time in a while, I got to hang out with one of my best friends and her coworkers, and I got to practice being myself and fully embodying myself and not feeling guilty, or I was unapologetically myself, and we all had a great time. And so it went well, guys. It went well. Yeah, so with that said, feel free to share how your day has been today and how you're at right now, like how you're feeling right now. Right now, I just got back so she took me to disc. Oh my god, I already forgot what it's called. Disc. What is it called? Disc golfing. So it's like mini golfing but with frisbees. And it was my first time trying it out, and I got to meet her coworkers, and it was really fun. And I got to practice but just be myself, and I felt like myself again. Like I didn't feel guilty, or I wasn't shameful. I didn't feel any blockages. Like I felt like myself. So yay. So right now I just got back. I feel grateful, and I feel like myself again. And oh, that's a nice segue. It's done. Let's listen to it a little bit more. So yeah, welcome to stream. I made it. This is the latest I've ever been on stream, like starting stream. But like I said, we're trying this out, and I'm doing it so that I do it at my own pace. So yeah, so another part of today's topic is going to focus on pace. and our level of awareness surrounding acceptance of ourselves and ourselves. And yeah, let's just see where this goes. I'm really excited to share my energy today with you guys. Let's do that. Okay, hold on. Okay. So I just got back, so that's why I'm a little... Can we... Okay. But yeah, welcome to Saturday. Right now it's currently 10:35 in California. And setting the intentions for this space and time together, I want to invite you guys to share whatever is on your mind, because I think another part that really helped me feel better, like today, I think I was able to recognize how much more normal I feel, like in my own skin now. I'm not, like, I don't feel so like triggered by my own thoughts or my emotions. Today I had a lot of fun, and it was the first time I got to like hang out with people I don't know, like actually have like a full day hanging out with people I don't know, and I got to I got to experience me unapologetically being me and just engaging with the world, and it worked. Like, I felt so me, and I was comfortable being me, and so I really do think doing this live stream challenge helped me do that, in that this was me when I first started. The whole purpose was for me to gauge the energy of me being able to articulate who I am and just be who I am and share myself with the world without being filtered or feeling guilty about sounding a certain way or whatever. And each day I was like so aware of the shifts that are happening. But today I got to experience being out in the world, and I got to hang out with people, and I feel like myself again, and I'm just so like, I didn't tell this to my friend as much as I should have, because I really appreciate her like stepping in and inviting me to this the day, and I was myself, and I'm so happy, and I just got back. So this level of acceptance, what I mean by that for today's topic is focusing on the moments in our lives where we either get a job or we get out of a job, or we like go back to school, or you move back in with your family, or you move out from your family's place, or there's something happening, but then there's this part of you that accepts like, oh, this is going to be the pace of my life now, but it's coming from a place of acceptance. Like, okay, it's not coming from a place of lack or scarcity, it's just you accept it as is, and you kind of go with the flow, and so I want to focus on that for day 24, age 24, because in our lives during that time, I think we are just getting into a new job or new relationship, and you, at least for me when I was 24, I felt like I had that level of acceptance where it was like, okay, like I don't know where this is going, but I accept things as is, and it's like I'm grateful for what I already have, and I'm just gonna move forward as is each day. And so I remember that feeling, and so today I want to talk about that feeling. And what I could share about today's experience of my day relating to the topic of acceptance. I realize I have that again, and it's coming from a place of me not forcing. Hi, I like memes. Welcome to stream. Yeah, so like before, I would, like go to like last weekend, I went to the beach with my family, and, I do have interactions with people of the world, but this was kind of like the first time I interacted with people I don't know for like almost a whole day, and I recognized that I was just being me and not like holding back in terms of like, oh, this person's gonna think I'm like this way, or like I was like really free. So that pace, it reminds me of the pace that I had when I had this deep level of acceptance. Like, okay, take it day by day, just be you, the you are now, and just have fun with life. Don't hold on to the worry or stress or anxiety. So yeah, today was a good day for me. How was your day? Your Saturday? Again, those of you that are just tuning in to the live stream tonight, together as we're present, I want to share my intention with you guys of this live stream challenge. So this 28-day live stream challenge I created on my birthday for myself to share myself with the world, and coming from a place of me like wanting to disappear from the world, and me like wanting to not have any. I didn't want to be here. Not this live stream, but I mean like I didn't have any like desire to try anymore, because I felt like I gave my all and my honesty to the world, and I felt like I don't belong in here. Like there was no, like I felt stuck. So a couple weeks before my birthday, my family miraculously relocated somewhere else, and so we came here, and things started changing for me internally. Like I started to hear the more like healthier, more balanced part of me coming out again, and then once my birthday hit, I kind of had this jolt within me, and something happened where I felt like it was time for me to, even if I don't feel ready, even if I don't know what it's gonna look like, I just need to show up to the world in the way that I can with what I already know. So the 28-day live stream challenge is what happened. I just wanted to show up to the world and share my energy and be alive and feel what it feels like to be me unapologetically while sharing myself with the world. So that's my intention of this live stream challenge, and today is day 24. Each day I choose a topic based on a milestone or a core concept of the age of the number of the day. So welcome to day 24. We are focusing on, hi James, welcome to stream. We are focusing on acceptance. And to clarify my intention again for this live stream time with you guys is for also share each other's stream of consciousness. It's like time for us to kind of step back and just be as we are. Because I think in a fast-paced environment of today's world, we kind of forget to check in with ourselves, and that we're like at least my experience in the past, I've been adjusting my energy to everyone else to the point where I kind of lost my ground. And I think it came from me. Oh gosh, sorry. There's a lot of things that I worked on the past few months within myself, and I'm sensing a lot of you have a lot of questions on like the context of my life, like what does she do with her life, like what's going on in her life, why is she doing this, why is this so important to her. I lost my confidence and my energy when my contract job ended last year, and I'm gonna share this because I feel ready to talk about it, and I think it's also related to the topic of acceptance. I was in a very special maybe I'm not ready for it. So at the end of last year, my job ended, and so in another stream I shared that it's happened like in a week, but it was between 2 weeks. So I lost someone that I thought I would have in my life forever, and that really kind of shattered the way I thought and accepted the world. It made me question everything and everyone. And then, but as things kind of changed in all areas of my life, I realized, I started to become very, very conscious of my intuition and my thoughts and my emotions. And since December to March, I've been having this this intuition to express myself in ways that I didn't think I would be able to express myself, like the piano. I think I was hurting, but I was hurting inside, but I wanted to be strong in that while all this was happening, all the changes, I recognized, okay, you recognize why this is happening. This is something out of your control. You can't do anything about it. So you have to find closure within yourself. You know what to do. So then I literally started to do things that could make me happy. And so I've been on that journey since December. And coming from a very fast-paced environment to immediately kind of have everything abruptly stop, I think I was kind of in shock, and so I had to somehow make sense of it. Make sense of everything I was feeling and everything I was thinking, and that led me to, I didn't intentionally think, okay, I have to feel better, I'm gonna like play the piano. It wasn't like that. It kind of accidentally happened. So, okay, today's topic is acceptance. So I'm the reason why I'm like sharing all of what happened is because I want to share how I got to the level of acceptance that I have now. And sharing this is important to me because I think by the time I'm able to share my story, I think I'll be able to get over it and fully come to a close or to an acceptance of what I felt or what I went through. So, also, another thing about this live stream is that I don't know how I'm gonna present myself. So the reason why I keep looking up and the reason why I am kind of like going back and forth in my storytelling is because I am sharing as I'm thinking. And yeah, okay, so how did I get to the piano? So you guys are probably wondering, oh wow, she's really good at playing the piano. I'm playing the chords F sharp and F, and within those chords I just kind of play the similar melodies, and I just play as my fingers play. Something similar happened. This all started in December. So my background in piano is throughout my grade school years, hold on. Hi, John Adams. Welcome to stream. John Adams asked, said, hi, relationship? That's always rough. Yes, relationship. So in December, I got to come visit my family, and by the way, let me know how you guys are feeling right now because I want to know how you guys are doing. I want to be present in this stream of consciousness together. So if you're here and you're vibing in terms of like you're present here with me in the now, share how you're feeling or how you are today. I would really appreciate that. I visited my family a couple days before Christmas, and this piano was in the room and it was already set up because my mom likes to play Christian songs on it. So yeah, I was there, and my background in piano, growing up, I learned how to play piano, but it wasn't like one of those, like you learn how to play for 5 years and then you forget. I learned like for 2 months and then I stopped, and then I learned for 4 months, and when I learn it, it's me literally learning how to like sight read, like this note is C and it corresponds with that image on the sheet music. And yeah, so I learned how to like play piano in that way. So it's not like I learned like professionally or whatever. So with that level of expertise, like I could like read music, like align notes with what I see. Thank you for sharing. James said, John Adams says, I feel good just chilling out before I sleep. I'm glad you are present with us today. Thanks for being here tonight together. Yeah, so with that, like when I saw the piano in the room, when I was visiting my parents, I just turned it on. I turned on the piano and I just started playing. And I wasn't even looking at sheet music, which was really surprising for me. But I was just like playing around. I was like, oh, okay, what is like these sounds sound like? And then I tried different instruments, and then I started just playing piano, and then all of a sudden it kind of sounded like an actual melody. And even now, like, I don't actually remember what the melody sounds like because I haven't listened to it in a while, but I recognize that it was an actual song that I was playing. And so I recorded myself. And then during the time too, while I was going through all the transitions in my life, I wanted to document what I was going through because it was a form of release for me. It was me understanding myself, and I wanted to share that energy, that process with the world because I just needed to get it out somehow. And so, because nothing made sense. And so I recorded it, and my sister came in and she said, "Ooh, that's such a pretty song." And then she said something like, "It sounds like hope." And it's so strange and bizarre to me because it didn't click to me that it actually felt like an emotion. I was just playing like a random whatever just came out. And then she said it felt like hope. And what was really powerful for me in that moment was that I sensed that obviously it wasn't me playing, like my hands were playing, but I felt like God's grace was flowing through me, or like a higher entity, like a higher consciousness just like flowing through me. And it was me recognizing this feeling, embodiment of hope and light just beaming through me, and like it's being articulated through this, whatever this is. And so I decided to name this melody Hope. And then I posted the 10-minute clip of me playing that tune on YouTube. And what's really, really strange is that I didn't even advertise it aggressively, but I have gotten so many I got so many direct messages on Instagram when I posted the video, and like from people I don't know, and they told me that it really touched their hearts. And I was like, okay, but when I say a lot of people, I just mean 2 people, because to me I was like, why are these like strangers of the world like messaging me about my random piano playing? But then I recognized what was happening. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is what's happening, is I'm sharing my energy and this hope with the world. And there's something very powerful about that. And I felt very guided. I felt like, okay, everything happens for a reason. You're not abandoned, you're not forsaken, you're okay. And so with that, I started January. And then what happened? And then I was being very mindful of my emotions. And those close to me were very cautious around me because they didn't want me to break down, because they knew how sensitive I was. And so during the time too, I was recognizing my environment is kind of perpetuating a lot of the things in my surroundings, the city I lived in, the apartment I was in. Everything around me reminded me of what I thought was my foundation. And so I had to move. And also during that time, I was applying to jobs, and it felt like I just needed a change of pace. I had to step back, I had to be still. I couldn't be around this all the time, and I wanted to just ground myself. And so I decided to move back home with my parents. So I packed everything up that January, end of January, and I came down to SoCal from NorCal. And then things started happening. Within that influx of just change from everywhere. Like, I was getting inputs from my family saying, you should do this, you should do this, now you could do this, or you could do, like, there were so many inputs on like how I should structure my life. And I know it came from a well-intentioned place, but it was so overwhelming. And I think the acceptance I felt in that moment within myself was, I'm not okay. So I know my pace, and I know that it's not going to resonate with other people's paces, in that I am not okay. So with that, so February, adjusting to like the dynamic back at home, and also like reacquainting myself with all of these like thoughts and emotions that I've been suppressing because I was telling myself, you know what, you're strong, like, you know why what happened, like you saw it coming, it was coming, it like in February I got one of those moments that I felt when I had set my hands on the piano in December. Similar thing happened in February. When I was scrolling through my email, I saw, was it email? It was either email or a tweet, but I saw it was an email. So I got an email from one of my favorite bloggers, and her name is Maria Popova. If you guys have been following me, you guys know of her because I always talk about her. So she's this blogger that writes on the intersection of all disciplines, answering the question of what it means to live a fulfilling life, or how other people, each unique person in history understands what fulfillment of life is. And so she loves reading, and so with her ability to read so many texts in a short amount of time, she dissects all these different points of views into like one succinct article, blog. And she's been writing for years. And anyway, so I subscribed to her, like years ago, I subscribed to her email listing. And I don't read like all of her blogs, but for some reason I opened this one because, I don't know, I just opened it and it was an announcement for her book. And I was like, oh my gosh, she writes books now? And I saw that she was having a book tour, and it was happening the Friday of the week that I saw the email. And then there was only one location, and it was in Brooklyn, New York. And so I had that moment where it was like a very clear sign, like, I need to act on this. And so while all this influx of like uncertainty and me trying to center myself and be okay of what happened, all of that I had to deal with, that I had to feel and embody without suppressing it, it was being pushed back again. And I went out to New York, and even that, like, I got to reconnect with a friend who let me stay with them, and from then on, things started to just happen in terms of getting connected with the right people, having such compassionate people just be there to encourage me that you don't have to have everything figured out. And everyone was just so energetically at their own pace, but they weren't pushing me to do something, or they weren't like, they were just so grounded and energetically so healing to me. Okay, I'm gonna look at chat, sorry. James says, Last year I got an anxiety attack and it's still happening. Oh, I'm so sorry that's happening. Perhaps I'm not ready. Hold on. John Adams says, "You will get better, Jennifer. Time. Over time." Thank you. I do believe that too. Oh my god, I'm like... Hold on. So, we're in February. Okay, so... And then... Even that too... For that trip, I went... without things having been logistically all put together. The book tour, the link, it redirected to an Eventbrite page, and we had to buy tickets to attend this book tour. And guess what? While I was contemplating, they were sold out. So, I went to this trip, this New York trip, to meet Maria Popova in person, and I had no ticket. But something crazy happened. And I think it's because I was meant to meet this person, but I went to the book tour, the day of the book tour, before, like, an hour and a half before the book tour event, which was in Red Hook. It was at a place called Pioneer. Anyway, so I got to the venue an hour and a half before it started because I wanted to be standing in the line for... Okay, so on the Eventbrite page, it said there will be first come, first serve standing area or something. So for like people who don't have tickets. And so I was betting on that. But then I got to this venue an hour and a half before it starts, and there's already a line of like 40 people, right? Not in the standing line, but for tickets, like people with tickets. And we didn't know where the other line was, but my friend who I was staying with, they were with me because I don't know how to get around in New York, so they were with me. And then I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm in this line, but like I came all the way from California. I hope that there's someone who's giving away tickets. And then, so crazy, the woman in front of me turns around, says, my friend just texted me that she can't make it because she's sick. Would you like my ticket? So, things like that kept happening during my trip. It was like, I think it was like a 5-day trip. It's so crazy. But I think it was because I think those things happened because I accepted the pace I was at, and also I accepted that I needed it. Like, I accepted, how do I explain it? So I knew there was I knew this wasn't just like a instinctual, oh, not instinctual, it wasn't like an impulsive thing that I went to New York. Because when I saw that email, for some reason, I was like, I saw it at the perfect time, on the perfect day, on the perfect circumstance. Like, I have to be there for some reason. The woman that I met in line that day, oh my God. Her name's Elizabeth. And the friend that couldn't make it, her name's Jen. And oh my God, it's just so crazy what happened. Even when I think about it, it gives me the chills. The reason why I think I was called to go to New York was because I had to feel and embody what it feels like to be connected to someone and individuals who have this recognition that they don't have all the answers, but they're open to hearing and witnessing and being present of those who are on the pursuit of feeling, embodying truth, and of, because every single stranger that I have come across during that trip, I kept having that confirmation, like, this is what it feels like to be sharing energy of synergy, of like acceptance. So after this trip, I come back and I'm so excited to share what I have experienced. So I create this I create videos to share what I experienced there. And so my time was filled with me just working on these videos. Little did I know, after I'm looking at chat, sorry, hold on. James said, wow, yeah. After, it took me, I think, a week to finish all the videos. There were 5 in total. And after that, I think I got really scared because I got back to how I felt, even with what I have acquired in terms of the confirmations and the like embodiment of synergy and energy, just all that. Even with that, I still held the emotion and the confusion and the uncertainty and the hurt and the pain and the like doubt in people, and like all this was coming back to me again that I didn't deal with after what happened last year. So then here I am in March, and I'm like sharing every detail. Okay, so there was a week in March where I was stuck, and I was trying to somehow deal with what was coming back and trying to accept, okay, this is normal. Like, of course, you went to New York like while things were happening, and you didn't deal with what you had to deal with, the emotions and the confusion and all that. You didn't resolve it. Like, you don't have closure within yourself, duh. Like, now you have to try to pay attention to that. So then Away, I did it. Was almost so funny how I said Away, and I was gonna talk about the show Away. So then another powerful moment during the New York trip was that I got to meet Elizabeth Gilbert, and she is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, and she was the moderator at the book tour because she and Maria Popova are really good friends. And if you guys don't know Elizabeth Gilbert, so one of the many books she wrote is Eat, Pray, Love, and she's also written Big Magic. She has written, most recently, City of Girls. She's written signature of all things, but you guys may know her from the Eat, Pray, Love movie with Julia Roberts. So that book is about her life, of her finding herself and how she did it through literally going through meditation in India. And so I turned to interviews. Of Elizabeth Gilbert because she talks about grief and love and of relationship with fear, because she also lost someone, but she lost someone who, like, she lost them. And so that helped me. And then I turned to interviews of Britt Marling, who is an actress and also a writer and a director and producer. She wrote and plays as the actress in the TV show The OA, and so I got to rewatch The OA. And then where am I getting at with this? Why am I telling you like every single detail? So March was a month where I was humbled with both the recognition of what happened between December and March. It was me recognizing, okay, yes, you didn't deal with all of the emotions and all of the you didn't deal with the emotions that you had to like face and confront about why things happened. Like, you didn't face it completely. You kind of disengaged with it. So you have to do that. While this level of acceptance came about me, because I was looking for guidance from authors, and so Elizabeth Gilbert, and then Britt Marling, and also Maria Popova, her book, and also I followed them on Twitter. And I remember there was a tweet from Zal, who is also a writer of the OA show. I was following him, and he wrote something about a SF premiere for the season 2 of OA part 2, and I was like, what? So then again, there was another gut instinct where I knew I had to be there. I'm like, okay, these are people that I look up to literally, and I watch so many of their interviews on YouTube to understand how they overcame grief and struggle and in uncertainty, and so I had to be there. So I did the thing again that I felt in February. I knew I had to be there. So March, again, in the middle of March, I set out to go to San Francisco, and I went to the premiere for the OA, and again, I was confirmed and I was connected with individuals who had this deep desire, and they were on the pace of life where they recognize, okay, I really need to hone in on my truth and understand what the heck is going on within me, and how to engage the world in a way where I am balanced and I am knowing of myself, instead of feeling like things are out of control, and that's the way it's always going to be. I got to have a brief moment with the writers of the show, and just their presence in itself, I remember, was healing, in that because I knew I watched interviews of them, like sharing how they got to start working together, and it was back when they were in college together. They first their story is incredible. Like how wait, hold on, I'm gonna look at chat. Okay, no one's really talking. Yeah, so then that happened in March and then I came back home and the same thing happened. I'm like, why does this keep repeating itself? Like, I thought I was over this, like I knew this, how to balance both spectrums, and that like I understand there's things I'm trying to feel better about and have closure about, but why do I feel this? So then a way that I expressed and released this confusion, moment of confusion again, which turned to days of not eating and not really understanding how to move forward because I literally felt stuck. Guess what I did? I watched more interviews of Britt Marling and of Zal, and it led me to also connecting with fans of the OA show. And I wanted to learn the dance of the show. There is a healing dance in the show, and I want to learn it. So then I looked it up on YouTube, and I saw that there was during the time that I looked this up, there was one individual on YouTube sharing how to do the OA dance, the 5 movements. Her name is Jess Grippo, and she had also in 2016, yeah, was when the first season came out for the OA. She coordinated a flash mob in New York City in front of the Trump Tower with about, I don't know, like 10 people, and they did a flash mob for the OA 5 movement dance. And what's really crazy is, of course, because I admired her I admired that she was doing that. Cause she had her website on her YouTube video of her doing the flash mob with people in New York City. And by the way, when I looked it up during the time, it was also the only flash mob I saw in the States of them doing the 5 movements. Like right now, a lot of people are doing it because everyone is upset that there isn't gonna be a season 3 because Netflix canceled it for whatever reason. Anyways, I recognized that there is something very special about this soul that I'm witnessing. So then I looked up Jess Grippo, her website, because it was in her video description. I find that she created her own program to help other people express themselves through dance. And her thing is, you don't have to have a background in dance, but what's important is that if you recognize that you want to express yourself, try expressing yourself through dance. So I connected with her, and after a 35-minute Zoom call, I decided to work with her in New York to learn how to express myself with dance. And we had deep appreciation for the OA show. So again, in April, another thing, going back to February. So in February, when I visited New York for the first time, remember that lady I told you about in line, Elizabeth, in front of me, who gave me the ticket? Over time, she was in contact with me, checking in and sharing like articles that reminded her of me. And so we were in touch, but she actually also invited me to a poetry event that was happening in the same venue as the book tour, but in April for Earth Day. And it's this National Poetry Day that happens every year on Earth Day. And she invited me and my friend. And so that was another calling for me. So I recognized this is another one of those moments where I feel divinely, like, not triggered, but I felt like I had to go. So it happened again. In April, I went back to New York. I was working with Jess in a dance studio, which was such an incredible experience. Because through her, I was able to understand that I have to understand how to set intentions and how to set boundaries for myself and for other people, and how I could do that from a place of wholeheartedness. So I learned so much from her about how I can navigate through all this chaos that I feel within me and chaos inside my head. Like, how can I work through that? And she has this program, if you guys want to look it up, it's really helpful. It's You Can Dance Again. You Can Dance Again. She has several programs, but the one that I did was Dance Rebel Training Leadership Program. And through that, for a whole day, it was me and how many other people? It was, I think, 7 other people, and they were from all over the world. They all flew in because they knew what Jess had to offer was very unique and her intention was to help people release and just be and embody what they're feeling. And people from all over the world flew in to work with her. So I just felt like I was at the right place at the right time with the right people. Something happened. At the end of the day, after the training, we had the showcase where we get to dance in front of people. And it wasn't us like learning a dance from her, it was us trying to bring out a dance within us. And we do it with a song that we choose. And I remember I was one of the last people to choose a song because I didn't feel like there was a song that resonated with how I felt. I thought my experience would be at the end of the training program, I would feel empowered. So it has to be something positive, something like motivational. But instead, for some reason on SoundCloud, when I was looking up all the songs that I listened to, the sad songs resonated, but I didn't want that. So I took forever to choose my song, but 45 minutes before the showcase, I have no song. I didn't practice my dance because I don't know what I resonate with, because I just felt like everywhere because I was conflicted. I came all the way out to New York just to like dance out a sad song. Like, why would I do that? So then I was conflicted because I was trying to find a song that was empowering, and it's like a happy ending type of thing, but I kept being drawn to sad songs. So we're like 20 minutes before the showcase, I finally just choose a song, and it's a song that lyrically resonated with what I was going through in my head and what I felt I could deliver with my body. And so it's kind of like this live stream. Other individuals, they chose their song like 2 hours before the showcase. They chose it like an hour before the showcase. So they like worked on like what they're going to embody, like with whatever. But for me, I literally, as I was performing for the showcase, I was figuring out how I feel. And what's so powerful is I got into this mode of what happens with the piano sometimes with me here, where when I say I'm grounding myself, I kind of get into like a zone out period where I'm just like, all that exists is just my emotions through my melodies, that type of feeling. So what happened when it was my turn, I was nervous, my heart was beating, but as soon as the song started and I stepped in, and I was just, my eyes were open still, but then I realized, okay, I'm gonna shut my eyes and just let things like flow, however it feels. And I recognized that as I was doing it, my mind went blank, and all I was thinking was, holy crap, I was so wrong about how I'm approaching all of this. As soon as I had that acceptance, I wasn't thinking, and I was just all emotions, and I closed my eyes, and it was literally me just like dancing out what I felt with the music and what resonated. And just at the end of the song, I remember I was crouching down and I was kind of like doing this, and I knew, holy crap, I'm still not okay, and that's okay. Like, that's what you needed to know. You're not okay, and you don't have to have it figured out. So yeah. And to give you context, the individuals that were also part of the training program, they used to be ballet dancers, but they stopped doing ballet because they stopped loving ballet, and so they didn't do ballet for a while. But they found out through like a mutual friend of Jess's program, and then they felt like they were drawn to a calling to dance, like try dancing again. So they came, and it was a range of people, but I was one of the people that didn't have like professional dance experience, or I didn't have it was a very diverse group, but each unfolding, so everyone's performance was so different, but it was so powerful because everyone was so in tune with what was going on, like within themselves. They just let go and surrendered. And I think it was because for the whole day we were doing exercises to kind of surrender to whatever is going on. And I didn't feel it until the end, because I was constantly resisting. I didn't even know I was resisting to what I was feeling, but I recognized it when I did that dance. So that was April. And then when I went to the poetry event, something crazy happened again. So this National Poetry Day event, Pioneer Works, that's the location. I reunited with Elizabeth, the woman in front of me in line back in February, who gave me her ticket. We reunited. She brought her friend who couldn't make it that book tour, which eventually led to me taking her place. Her name, wait, what happened? Her name was Jennifer. I should have looked her up, but she's like a ballet, like she used to be a ballet performer, and she's this gorgeous petite woman of like, I don't know her age, like 60, and she's petite, green eyes, bright orange hair, like short hair, and she has this like scarf on. And what I felt through this whole experience was April was a month of me releasing with dance, and like all of it was very thematic, because the people that I got connected with were somehow related to dance, but I didn't intend to meet them through dance. So it was so, everything felt like it was meant to be type of thing. So that was April. And then April was also the month that I met one of my really good friends now. She's also a YouTuber. I met her at a train station, and if you guys watched my previous streams, I shared how I met Kelly Stamps. That happened. And she's also into ice skating. Like, she does the twirly things, and she's a YouTuber, and she relocated to New York a couple months ago with no plan set. So again, coming back to the topic of acceptance, I felt like God was constantly, or higher entity, higher consciousness was constantly giving me confirmation you are literally on the perfect path. Like you feel like you're not making progress, but you're making progress in that you're facing what you have to face inside of you. And I'm trying to help you face it in ways you can understand. So, yeah, so then I was humbled again. And also in April, I was connected to my old contacts who live in different areas, who reached out to me previously, like months back, saying like, if Jennifer, like, hi, like, how are you doing? I recently got married and I have a guest room. If you ever want to visit Seattle, like, come visit. We have a room for you, just thought of you. And so, of course, like I said, I'll like go. So then April was the month I did that. And then another friend reached out to me on Twitter because she saw that I was in New York and said, hey, Jen, if you have time in your itinerary, visit DC, visit us. And so like I did that. So everything was, and I think, even thinking about it now, I think it was constantly God saying, just accept the path that you're on, because no matter where you're at in life, you are facing what you have to face, and I'm not going to forget you. And this is supposed to happen. And so that happened in May. First week of May was the final test, I think, of my travels. I booked a one-way to San Francisco because there was a job fair that was exclusive to UC, so University of California public schools. So like think like UC Berkeley, UCLA, UCR, UCI, UC San Diego, UC, all the UCs, all of their alumni were invited to this job fair, and it was in San Francisco. So I had found out about this job fair when I was booking tickets for my April trips. So I was thinking, okay, by the time I am healed with dance, like with this expectation, I knew like I would be all like okay after this dance, and I would be okay. I would book my one way to SF and figure it out from there, and something will happen at the job fair. I freaked out. I got to the airport at SFO right before landing. I started to feel the way I did when I was back home, stuck, confused. I started to feel myself like I'm gonna cry, and it's not okay because it's happening and I know what's happening, and why am I doing this? And so I didn't leave the airport after I found my bag, my check bag. I didn't leave. I didn't leave until like 7 p.m. I got there around like 2 in the afternoon. I was just sitting there. I couldn't move. And the very next morning was the job fair, but I wanted to stay with a friend, but I didn't want to reach out for help anymore. Like I felt like, okay, after all of this seeking and healing, like you should be able to do things on your own. So it was like me back to going into my ego side. Like I'm like, okay, I got this, and I was stuck again. I'm like, but so anyways, it was getting dark, so I was getting afraid because SFO, like at night, like why? I don't even have a car. And so oh my god, gosh, just thinking about it. Why did I? Okay, but anyways, and then after that, wow, I'm like telling the story from the T. I'm like telling the story like very detailed. But anyways, how did I get over that? Well, I recognize, okay, I can't just sit here all night until I feel better. Obviously, I'm not gonna feel better. So I was very in tune with myself. I was shaking. I couldn't stop shaking. It was like the place where everything happened that I don't want to face. It was like, why am I back? Why am I here? And then I decided to reach out to a very close friend from college. And she's kind of like an older sister to me. So I reached out to her, letting her know that I'm in SF. And after having dinner together, I felt okay. Stayed at a hotel, didn't stay with a friend, and then something crazy happened again. Should I share this? Oh my gosh, I'm like sharing everything. Okay, so fast forward to the job fair. Let's just like fast forward to the job fair. I get to the job fair, and of course I went like really early because why not? Like maybe I could start talking to employers there or help them set up, because I don't mind doing that. There was one other person who was there who wasn't a part of the setup crew or a part of the employers that are setting up. One other person, and that person is Danny, and he was actually on stream with us a couple nights ago. But Danny, he was asking, I could see in his body language that he was asking like, oh, where should we be, to someone when I went in the doors of the convention center. And I went over to Danny. I was like, hey, are you a job seeker too? And he was like, oh yeah, I am. He's like, what school did you come from? Because it's all for alumni. And then I was like, oh, I'm from Berkeley. And he's like, oh, I'm from, oh my god, I totally forgot. Oh my god, is it Merced or Davis? I think it's Davis. Yeah, so then we started talking because we had like an hour before the event was starting, and it like people didn't want help setting up, so we were just like there in the entrance just like getting prepared, and we have our business suits on, and it was his job fair, first job fair too. And so we were just talking, and then what's crazy, I wore, so everyone here, you know how when you think of a job fair and you think of your dress code, what do you think of? You usually think of like, you know, like as interview clothes, you wear a nice blouse and slacks. I wore a white, like sleeveless cardigan looking blazer with a skirt, with slacks. And so I would be remembered as like that one Asian with the white sleeveless slacks and sleeveless cardigan blouse thing. Anyway, so then as people started trickling in, people thought I was like the, like, what do you call it, like the front door escort person. So like everyone came to me for questions, so I was just like, oh my god, I'm not a part of this, but thank you. Like, hi, what school are you from? We're here, and if you're a job seeker, we're actually starting a line here. What's crazy about this experience is that I realized how much I recognize, like, I should not be afraid of, not that I was before in the whole like job fair thing, but I had another confirmation come through me, like an acceptance, like where I recognized one of your strengths is connecting with people, guiding people. You recognize people that, like, you recognize people who like, you're very intuitive, and that's a strength, and it shouldn't be like you shouldn't be ashamed of that, because I've always been kind of ashamed of being intuitive and emotional because I was told around me that I was too much or overbearing. But I recognize, no, like, it's a strength. And one of the things that Danny said before we left the job fair, because at the end of the job fair we kind of had a group of us. There was like a group of like 10 people who, like, we were like the first ones there, and so we kind of like started talking, and then we were like wishing each other luck. And I remember Danny saying like, hey, like, I really appreciate you coming over and like talking to me. And I think it came from a place of like kindness, recognizing kindness, and like also like, how do I explain it? When I heard that from him, I was really like, I got this confirmation again, like, hey, what you have, your intuition, is something you should use as your strength. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. You aren't broken. Because I think another confirmation I got from that experience of the job fair was, what you feel is completely valid, and don't think you're broken. What you feel is normal. It's what you have to go through. So after the job fair, I've gotten my resume out to like, I don't know, like 5 employers that I was actually interested in working with. And I've gotten a lot of business cards in the tote bag they gave us. And wow, this is a very long stream again. And so there was a lot that I gained from that. But the next step was, well, is this gonna lead to a job? I had this very specific expectation that after the job fair something will align like that, like the way my past few weeks have been. I think because I had that very hard expectation that things will happen in a certain way, it didn't happen. Even though I was connected with all of these recruiters and managers, it wasn't like that. It wasn't fast. It wasn't like, it was stagnant still. But I was running out of time because I did book a one-way to SF, but I can't continue just staying with a friend or staying at hotels. I can't do that. I decided to go visit a really good friend, and just, it's so funny because she knew that I was in SF because she had seen my social media story, Instagram, when I had it back then, and she asked like, hey Jen, where are you staying? Because she knows like what's going on. And I said, I'm staying at a hotel. And she's like, why the heck are you staying at a hotel? Come over. I heard that as a calling. I'm like, okay, like maybe this is one of the divine things. I'm gonna go. But connecting with her was so precious because she had people over too, and it helped me, but I felt out of alignment in that I felt like it was time for me to go back home and face everything. And it wasn't time for me to be out there. So then I booked a bus that night to go back home. And that's when I got stuck to the max. Meaning I have never felt that stuck that long with that extent. So that happened in May through June. And then in June I decided I need silence. I just need to face everything inside of me, everything that is going on, but just I need this. I deleted everything. I deactivated my social media. So I think the reason why I did, okay, so the first reason why, or the first instinct that I had when I deleted everything and deactivated everything was because I literally was gonna disappear. Both literally and figuratively. So there was nothing to lose. Like, I didn't want anything of me to exist in this world because I felt broken as a person, because no matter how much effort and earnest, authentic, like, positioning I put myself in to feel better and to feel like myself, to like move forward the best I can, it didn't happen. Like, I kept that feeling, even though I've like gone through periods and extended travels where I felt like it was God or higher entity like giving me confirmation, you're not alone, and this, what you're going through, these are reminders for you to know that you're not alone and that these are lessons you have to learn, but I'm going to remind you that you have love and support within you and around you. So don't give up. Just, you have to face what you have to face. Even with all of that happening in February and in March and in April, with all of these travels and connecting with loved ones and on a soul level, I came back to a place of, but why do I feel this way still? So then I kept doing this circle, and then I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter anymore, because I'm not going to try anymore, because I don't want to be a part of this pattern anymore. Like, I can't handle it anymore. So I deleted everything and I decided to disappear. And then it was 2 weeks of me not doing anything. Not thinking, not feeling. I resisted everything. I didn't want to, not even want to. There was no want. It was just, nothing. And then, because I think with this move, which I also think is the work of God or higher entity, this move just happened out of the random blue in July. My family moved, and ever since we've been here, I began to feel like, okay, I'm going to start over. Yes, you are disappearing, but you don't have to disappear. You're just gonna start over from scratch, and that's okay if that's where you have to go. So then, for a month, while readjusting to life here and kind of being open to whatever comes and listening to affirmations and of me dancing when I feel like it and playing the piano when I feel like it and just going on dog walks, and then my birthday happened on July 24th. And then something happened. I accepted. This was a deeper level of acceptance. I accepted. Okay. I also have to share, before this acceptance, when I was going on the dog walk, I took my dog out to a park nearby, and God showed up again. So what happened was, I was walking my dog to this park. I shared this on another stream, but I'm going to share again because I'm sharing what happened within this timeline. I took my dog out for a walk. I know I keep saying that. And we went to a park, and I had my tripod with me because I wanted to, because I like documenting what I experienced. I wanted to document my dog on the grass because it's a beautiful park. we were walking, and then we are in the park for, I don't know, maybe like an hour or so. And after that, while I was at the park too, like people started just coming to ask questions and like talking. And then after that, I'm walking back home, and before going home, there are maybe like, how do I say it? On my way home, there's like, let me see, let me remember. 1, 2, 3. There's maybe like 4 huge intersections. We have to, not huge intersections, but we have to like press the light, the signal light to cross. And so the walk sign. And for one of them, I pressed it, and the walk sign wouldn't change for minutes. So I'm like, okay, but then my dog started like pooping, so then I also have to pick up her poop. So then I do that, and then behind me was a woman with her dog. And because we were waiting for the walk sign to change, we just started a conversation like, oh, like, what's your dog's name? Or is it he or she? And we just started talking. We probably talked for like 15 minutes or so, which is a pretty long time, just given that we're given that space just to talk because we're waiting for the walk sign to change. It would not change. Then after 15 or 20 minutes, it finally changed. And during that 15-20 minutes we had together, we shared, I shared that I was new to the area, and then she shared that she just moved in the area back. And then we just shared like where we are in life, which was really crazy because it just came out. And I was like, oh, like I just relocated here, and I'm also applying for jobs, da da da. And then she was saying how she just got her new job recently, and like she asked if like we could connect on LinkedIn so that like, she could help me with my job search. And then when we crossed the intersection, she asked me this question that you don't usually ask just up front, but to me it wasn't weird until she pointed out it was weird. She asked me, hey, are you Christian, by the way? And I was like, oh, and it was me thinking, because I don't know if I consider myself as a Christian, like label wise. So I was just like, and then she was like, oh, so sorry if it was too much of a personal question. And then I recognized, oh shoot, it is, like we just met, what the heck, but it's okay. But then I told her like, oh no, it's totally fine. Like I was just kind of thinking like how I would label like what I'm going through and what I feel about that. Like I grew up as a Christian, but I stopped going to church, and I think I'm trying to figure it out. And then she was like, well, if you're interested, there's a prayer meeting that I go to every Thursday, or Wednesday and Thursday, and you know, it's just, it first started out as amongst like women with families, and then like a prayer meeting, and then now like men are coming, and just everyone's coming. It's been years, and now it's growing, and if you want to go, it's in a neighborhood nearby if you want to come with me. And then to me it didn't seem strange. But anyways, we exchanged contact info, and I think that was also God showing up in my life again, saying, hey, like, I'm with you. So what happened after that? That was like a week before my birthday. So my birthday comes along, and oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting anything, and that like literally just the fact that I'm like in this new place is like a miracle to me. So I didn't really expect anything to happen on my birthday, because I'm not really connected with anyone. Like, yes, I do talk to my friends, but I don't talk to them like day to day, and I don't have any of my social media accounts open with my birthday. Like I don't have Facebook, or I don't have Instagram, so people like don't know that it's my birthday unless they're like really close with me. But like so I wasn't, but something strange happened. So my god, I feel like I'm sharing like too much, but whatever, it's coming. Okay, so, and then, so my birthday was on a Wednesday this year. By the way, I love Wednesday because it was the day I was actually born. And that's important to me because I think it's significant. Hold on, sorry. It says it stopped. Wow, it's really late, but it's okay. We're heading into Sunday now. It's 11:59. It's probably midnight now, but it's 11:59. I don't know why I had to share all that, but it's coming through and it's who I am and it's what's coming through, so I'm going to share it because is it out of battery again? No, I think it's good. I want to share how I got here to this level of acceptance. So, okay, we're at my birthday. So on my birthday, I'm gonna just share a part of it. On my birthday, my energy changed. The contemplation, what should I do? I'm here, I feel better, I'm eating, I'm working out again, I'm not resisting, I'm just open, I'm just existing. Just existing in itself is such an accomplishment. I just want to reaffirm that, and that's why within the stream, when I'm present with you guys, with the world, that's why I keep saying thank you for choosing to be alive, for being here intentionally and just being present, being here, because if you've in your life haven't experienced that humility with life itself, I believe at least once in our life we'll feel that. I went through it and the thing that I feel now, and 2 days ago I started feeling that kind of fleet from me, in that that awareness of my breathing and my actual intention to be here on earth. I'm beginning to feel normal in that that level of humility and that foundation of I actually chose to be alive, I'm here, is kind of now I'm talking about it and I'm aware of it and I'm talking about it so much to the point where I feel it, but I feel it's fleeting, and I want to remind everyone right now I am so kind of scared that's one of the fears I have, I think, and I'll be very honest with it. I'm scared the embodiment of that humility, I feel it's gonna escape me, and I don't want it to. So I think this live stream is actually helping me because I get to talk about it and embody it as I'm sharing what I'm feeling. So yeah, so wait, where was I with my birthday? So my birthday, my energy shifted. I was no longer holding on to anything. I was able to confirm it because another thing is I feel uncomfortable sharing anything directly related to someone, but he's such a huge part of everything. Something happened on my birthday where I got the confirmation that I was no longer holding on to the confusion, because it was not I was taking it from the wrong angle and approach. And in terms of it, I didn't have, again, this is talking about my groundedness, I didn't have a centered me. And to get to this pace right now, where I'm like aware of this shift that I have in my energy and how I approach a perspective, or how I approach my own perspective is so peculiar. But on my birthday, something changed within me where I was like, it's time to show up no matter what. It's time, even if you're not ready, even if the world is not ready, even if that's what you believe and what you think, it's time to do it now. So that's the type of energy I got into when it was my birthday. And I don't know if it's because my intellect was very in tune with the fact that it was my birthday and I'm turning another year older. Plus loved ones, people I love and who care about me, like, let me know that I'm in their thoughts. But something changed within me powerfully this time, where it was like there's no more holding back. Yes, you're not ready. Yes, you feel like the world is not ready. You feel like yourself is not ready, but you just gotta show up where you're at. And so with that vantage point, I began. The first thing I thought of when I had this energy was, okay, I'm gonna live stream. I need to start it now. I didn't think about it being 28-day live stream challenge. I didn't think about it being me talking in front of the camera to share my energy with the world, or to interact with people all over the world, or to have this in it. I didn't know it was gonna like be this setup. I just knew I had to be connected with the world in the way that I can, with the energy that I have, with the pace that I'm at, within my own agency, to figure out, engage, what am I needed to find out for myself. Okay, you wanted to do live stream, let's see what you could do. Let's see what you're comfortable with. Let's see what you come up with. And so I put myself out there, and as I was looking up how to do the OBS and YouTube live stream, I recognized, okay, I need some sort of structure. This is too free flow. I can't just like show up on live stream and just be like whatever. I need a system. So then I thought about, okay, well, it is my 28th birthday, so it's gonna be related to the number 28. And it has to be set with an intention that both I and the world can understand, so that we're on the same page of the growth that we have together. And then I thought about, okay, well, how are we going to structure each day? So then things started just happening, because as I was not ready, I still showed up with what I have. And so that's how we are here now. We are 24 days old together, and I myself can see and feel. Okay, so I think there's a difference between the world seeing me and the way I feel inside because the confidence that I feel right now, it isn't to say like, oh, I'm better at talking to the camera. It's more, I'm comfortable being in my own skin. And I didn't know I was going to get it fast as I had. I thought it was going to take me 28 days or more. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew it wasn't going to happen so quickly, like where I feel comfortable in my own skin, because I was such at a low point with my sense of worth, because I kept doing this flip-flop. And so I felt very ungrounded, uncentered, even though at moments I feel centered. I felt, if I can't be centered every time, does that even mean I'm centered? But the whole point of centering yourself is that you're working on it every day. and being kind to yourself. And so yeah, wow, I told you guys my experience from December to now, and my journey from, I haven't really told you guys about my journey from day 1 to day 24. But I know I haven't been really talking with you guys today. I've been really sharing my journey of acceptance. So thank you for being present with me in my unfolding. And when I say unfolding, it's like, think of not a Russian doll. When I say unfolding, it's like we don't know what's gonna happen, but as it progresses, we find out together. It's unfolding. It's yeah, so that's what I mean when I say unfolding. And I learned that terminology through this experience at the book tour, because Maria Popova, the way she writes her book, is very it's written in a way where it's how do I explain her way of writing? It's very metaphysical, meta of the human language. It's like she's able to articulate our human consciousness, but from above that. So I'm going to read something from Maria Popova to give you a taste of the way I talk now, because it's my way of thinking, and the way I talk is very heavily influenced in the way she writes. So I'm gonna read something from her. Synchronicity is another thing I've like been using and embodying a lot. By the way, for those of you that are tuning in right now, I know it's really late and it's already midnight here, and it's probably like 3 in the morning. Yeah, it's 3 in the morning in the East Coast, because we have some people from the East Coast. But anyways, thank you so much for being present with me. Feel free to contribute to the stream of consciousness in chat. It doesn't have to be in sync with what I'm saying. If anything resonated, or if you're feeling a certain way, like, feel free to share. As much as this live stream is me sharing myself, it's also an opportunity for me to, and us to, engage in the stream of consciousness. So what am I looking for? So I'm looking at the index for anything that could help. Let's do synchronicity, what she says about that. 449. Okay. Okay, she writes a lot about like what other authors wrote in the back portion. So I'm just gonna read something here because this is her voice in the beginning. Okay. Okay. By the way, this is just one sentence. This is just one sentence. I'm gonna read it, but it's her one sentence is that long. That up to here. I'm gonna read it to you because it's beautiful. Think of just, if you're on stream with us tonight or you're watching from the future, try closing your eyes and just imagine what I'm saying, okay? Okay. Should I play some music? Hold on. I'm not gonna read yet because I'm gonna play some piano while reading, so hold on. If you have your eyes closed, this isn't me reading her thing. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, no. Oh, I pressed some buttons that I shouldn't have pressed, but it's okay. So we could turn it off and turn it back on. Okay. This is Maria Popova, and I wanted you guys to hear the way, or to experience the way she talks, or she writes, and how she thinks, because it's influenced the way I talk about the world and of my relationship with the world. And there's a lot of terminology that I included in my vocab that a normal 21st century person would not use. Things like, you'll see, okay. You'll recognize some things, so. All of it. Okay, I'm gonna start now, so if you wanted to close your eyes. All of it. The rings of Saturn and my father's wedding band. The underbelly of the clouds, pinked by the rising sun. Einstein's brain bathing in a jar of formaldehyde. Every grain of sand that made the glass that made the jar, and each idea Einstein ever had. The shepherdess singing in the Rila mountains of my native Bulgaria, and each one of her sheep. Every hair on Chance's velveteen dog ears, and Marianne Moore's red braid, and the whiskers of Montague's son, every stone with which... I am so sorry, I skipped a line, my bad, I'm sorry. I'm trying to Okay, I'm gonna start over, I'm so sorry, okay. And this is all just one sentence, so... Okay. I'm just gonna read it without the... Oh, I'll just do it with the piano, okay. All of it. The rings of Saturn and my father's wedding band. The underbelly of the clouds pinked by the rising sun. Einstein's brain bathing in a jar of formaldehyde. Every grain of sand that made the glass that made the jar, and each idea Einstein ever had. The shepherdess singing in the Rila mountains of my native Bulgaria, and each one of her sheep. Every hair on Chance's velveteen dog ears, and Marianne Moore's red braid, and the whiskers of Montague's cat. Every translucent fingernail on my friend Amanda's newborn son. Every stone with which Virginia Woolf filled her coat pockets before wading into the river Ouse to drown. Every copper atom composing the disk that carried Arias abroad, the first human-made object to enter interstellar space, and every oak splinter of the floorboards onto which Beethoven collapsed in the fit of a fury that cost him his hearing. The wetness of every tear that has ever been wept over a grave, and the yellow of the beak of every raven that has ever watched the weepers. Every cell in Galileo's fleshy finger, and every molecule of gas and dust that made the moons of Jupiter, to which it pointed. The dipper of freckles constellating the olive firmament of a certain forearm I love, and every axonal flutter of the tenderness with which I love her, all the facts and figments by which we are perpetually figuring and reconfiguring reality. It all banged into being 13.8 billion years ago from a single source. No louder than an opening note of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, no larger than the dot levitating over the small I, the lowered I, from the pedestal of ego. So that was the first sentence of this book that she wrote for figuring. I'm going to continue. How can we know this and still succumb to the illusion of separateness, of otherness? This veneer must have been what the confluence of accidents and atoms known as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. saw through when he spoke of our inescapable network of mutuality. What Walt Whitman punctured when he wrote that every atom belonging to me, as good belongs to you. I'm going to continue. One autumn morning, as I read a dead poet's letters in my friend Wendy's backyard in San Francisco, I glimpsed a fragment of that atomic mutuality. Mid-sentence, my peripheral vision, that glory of instinct honed by millennia of evolution, pulls me toward a miraculous sight. A small, shimmering red leaf twirling in midair. It seems for a moment to be dancing in its final descent. But no, it remains suspended there, 6 feet above the ground, orbiting an invisible center by an invisible force. For an instant, I can see how such imperceptible causalities could drive the human mind to superstition, could impel medieval villagers to seek explanation in magic and witchcraft. But then, I stepped closer and noticed a fine spider's web glistening in the air above the leaf, conspiring with gravity in its spinning miracle. I'm gonna continue because that's beautiful. Sorry. Oh my god. Sorry, I pressed a button for something and it did something. Oh my god. It's okay. For those of you that are watching still, I hope this is soothing for you. It's soothing for me, and we're present in the moment. So this is also, in this next paragraph, try to also think of acceptance, like level of acceptance you have of the things happening around us and how we accept things happening around us. Okay, I think I already said that twice, but whatever. Okay, I love, this is one of my favorite quotes, and okay. Okay, close your eyes. Neither the spider has planned for the leaf, nor the leaf for the spider, and yet there they are, an accidental pendulum propelled by the same forces that cradle the moons of Jupiter in orbit, animated into this ephemeral early morning splendor by eternal cosmic laws, impervious to beauty and indifferent to meaning, yet replete with both to the bewildered human consciousness beholding it. We spend our lives trying to discern where we end and the rest of the world begins. We snatch our freeze frame of life from the simultaneity of existence by holding on to illusions of permanence, congruence, and linearity, of static selves and lives that unfold in sensical narratives. All the while, we mistake chance for choice, our labels and models of things for the things themselves, our records for our history. History is not what happened, but what survives the shipwrecks of judgment and chance. Some truths, like beauty, are best illuminated by the sideways gleam of figuring, of meaning-making. In the course of our figuring, orbits intersect, often unbeknownst to the bodies they carry. Intersections mappable only from the distance of decades or centuries. Sorry about that. Facts cross-hatch with other facts to shade in the nuances of a larger truth, not relativism, no, but the mightiest realism we have. We slice through the simultaneity by being everything at once, our first names and our last names, our loneliness and our society, our bold ambition and our blind hope, our unrequited and part requited loves. Lives are lived in parallel and perpendicular, fathomed non-linearly, figured not in the straight graphs of biography, but in many-sided, many-splendored diagrams. Lives interweave with other lives, and out of the tapestry arise hints at answers to questions that raise to the bone of life. What are the building blocks of character, of contentment, of lasting achievement? How does a person come into self-possession and sovereignty of mind against the tide of convention and unreasoning collectivism? Does genius suffice for happiness? Does distinction, does love? Two Nobel Prizes don't seem to recompense the melancholy radiating from every photograph of the woman in the black laboratory dress. Is success a guarantee of fulfillment? Or merely a promise as precarious as a marital vow? How, in this blink of existence, book-ended by nothingness, do we attain completeness of being? There are infinitely many kinds of beautiful lives. So, I don't know if you guys are still listening right now, if you guys are live with us tonight, but that is such a beautiful experience. If this something resonated with you, please share. I'm gonna read a little bit more. So much of the beauty, so much of what propels our pursuit of truth stems from the invisible connections between ideas, between disciplines, between the denizens of a particular time and a particular place, between the interior world of each pioneer and the mark they leave on the cave walls of culture, between faint figures who pass each other in the nocturne before the torchlight of a revolution lights the new day, with little more than a half nod of kinship and a match to change hands. And then the next chapter is about only the dreamer wakes. So I don't know what experience you guys had while I was reading that excerpt, but wow, that was beautiful. But yeah. Again, that book was called Figuring by Maria Popova. And to wrap it up, wrap today's topic of acceptance, some questions I want to invite you guys to ponder about is, are there things that you need to accept of what's happening around you for you to have internal peace, quieting your mind? Because for me, I know I'm still in it, I'm still trying not to be fearful of fear itself, but and when I say fear, I think for me, fear is repeating. Okay, my mom said I'm taking too long, but it's okay. It's been 24 days, and I accepted this challenge to be live with the world and share my life and share my soul and share my energy with the world. And I accept that I'm okay today, and I accept that I already know I'm not going to be okay in some days, but I don't want to resist anymore to things I have to face. I'm sensing that some of you may be thinking, wow, she's like taking this very seriously. Yeah, in a way, I'm taking this moment in my life seriously, in that I understand that I've been given this time, these set amount of months, where I kind of feel like I was put in a situation where I kind of really had to face myself again and again. And after, so for those of you that have been watching me since the beginning of this stream, today's stream, I've shared my journey of acceptance and the different levels of acceptance within myself and my reality from December to now. And where am I going at with that? I forgot because I was looking at the camera. The intention in the beginning of this live stream challenge was to find my confidence and to hear myself speak to the world again in an unfiltered way. I shared an improved goal, I think yesterday, but it was taken down because I played Taylor Swift songs. But I have a new intention, because I found that confidence again, and that I feel comfortable talking about what I went through and what I am, and just being. My new goal is to be unexpected. And I do have goals, but I recognize I'm going to try pursuing those goals, but I'm going to just keep it within myself. And that's a goal, keeping my goals to myself, because I think what was happening, I was so rushed to make decisions that I wasn't ready to make. And I accept that I have a difficult time making certain decisions, but that's the pace I'm at. And the pace that I choose to be on is my own, because I want to be here. I want to be alive. And I don't mean just on live stream, but I mean of this world. I want to be here. And I'm going to do my best to be here the way I am alive. I'm going to keep my soul alive and come from a place of groundedness. And that's the level of acceptance that I have a deeper awareness of. And I was able to confirm that, or it was confirmed today when I got to hang out with my friend and her coworkers today for a full day. Yeah, so hopefully, I know like I haven't really been interacting with anyone on chat today, because today I just shared a lot. And but thank you for being present with me. And each of us are going through so much stuff. So thank you for joining today's stream of consciousness of my pace, at my pace, and meeting me where I am. And other thing is, I feel like I've been, like the past few days, I know I keep saying this in my past 3 streams too, but I've been feeling normal again, in a sense that things are fleeting within me, that I've been grounding in myself. And so since I'm at my pace right now, being able to catch that, I I'm just really thankful, like where I'm at, I think is what I'm trying to say. And I want to thank you all for being present through these live streams. I know they tend to run really long, but it's at my pace, and it's what I can offer and what I think I should offer and what I feel I should offer. And it's very unconventional in that I literally share so much of my life and my soul, and I am literally vulnerable on live with the world. But it's what I need right now at this pace in my life, and I am so thankful that you guys have been present with me through all this, of this figuring. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for being here, and also for being alive. I'm feeling it again. I'm feeling it so much, because I know I said it feels like it's fleeting, like that humility is fleeting, but I'm feeling it so much right now, because I think it's because I've been talking about all that I've been through the past few months. And I, like, energetically, when I talk about something, I'm like present with it. So I feel how much I was shutting myself off and then allowing myself to surrender to the blessings that I was blind to. And then I have moments where I surrender and I recognize the blessings, and then I go with the calling, whether it's going to the prayer meeting, or whether it's going to go see an old friend, or whether it's I don't know, just or also when someone reaches out that you didn't expect to hear from, you come from a place of love. And to get to that point, I think, was very, very challenging, because I was blocking everything that I was triggered by. So I accept all that is, and thank you so much to everyone, every single energy that has been present with us tonight. And I don't know how much I want to emphasize, or how much I cannot stop emphasizing the fact that the fact that you guys are alive, coming from a place of someone that couldn't handle much, I'm really glad you guys chose to be alive today and to intentionally show up every single day. And I keep saying the same thing, but I cannot emphasize it enough. Thank you so much for being alive. If you're going through anything right now, I think the first step is accepting where you're at, and that if you're hurting, There's no other way around it. It's going to hurt. So everyone's methods of releasing it, embodying it, of making sense of it will be different. But just know time will heal, like John Adams says. I feel so much better. I'm in such a better place. But I know it isn't over. I know it isn't over. I know every day I have to show up. Every day I have to be kind to myself. And learn this acceptance of where I'm at and just be at peace with it. I have to keep my mind and spirit and soul. I have to keep it alive. And we can't do that by relying on external things. We have to do it within, and it's going to be so painful because I had to go through so many cycles of it the past few months, over and over again. And I think right now, I'm like, having talked about everything I went through, right now I feel like, wow, like, okay. That's okay. So I'm gonna end the stream. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream, but thank you so much again. Thank you. I know it's really late and this is like a really long stream. But thank you for being present with me and for sharing your energy with me today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Why do I feel like this again? That's okay. I don't know. I think it's because it's hot and I like went through so many emotions talking about everything that I went through. So I think that's why. But anyways, one last takeaway. Acceptance. Wherever pace you're at in life, even if right now your mind is going, like, there's so much chaos in your head maybe. Or maybe you feel like time is fleeting and there's just so much to do and just, you feel out of control. Also, I'm resonating with me when I was like super ungrounded. So perhaps you're there right now. Maybe that's your pace. Wherever pace you're at, as soon as you try to center yourself, things are going to feel uncomfortable in that you are kind of silencing your mind and you're centering yourself and you're trying to understand where you stand. So it is going to be uncomfortable. But for me, like, I'm trying so hard to be centered. Yeah, so accept the pace you're at. Everything is perfect as is right now. You're on your way. Just oh my goodness, this is the longest stream and I keep rambling, but yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, good night guys. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday. I will see you guys later today. Okay, bye guys. Thank you.